We're starting to see some very competitively priced wireless mic kits, and I'm pleased to say this one from Comica may well turn out to be a very worthy buy, especially for amateur video shooters. But let's see what we get and if it's really worth £200. There's a few nice little design features that I think we need to take a closer look at, and as always we'll throw up a load of random tests as we're doing right now in fact, and we'll chat about it in the comments below. Right, so we pop it out. We've got two transmitters and a receiver there, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. Let's take that aside. We've got user manual and the usual bits and pieces in there. Right, so in this one, we've got the lav mics. Very good, very handy. So we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. And I would assume, here we've got some pop guards there, some dead cat stuff there. We've got the relevant cables here, very nice. And we've got a USB cable in there, that's cool. Let's see, we'll leave the other transmitter in there for now. Really light, it's 29 grams, and you definitely notice when you hold them. Super duper light. I think they should be quite durable though. I'll let you know, they are plastic, but let's see how we get on with that. Now, I'm not a fan of logos, but the only thing that would be on display would be this piece here, which you can remove the sticker. So, as opposed to other brands, this can be, on camera at least, brand free, which is always welcome. Not a fan of displaying brands on camera. Yeah. So, we've got on the receiver, USB there, volume, EMS, power, reset, and there's the reset point where you'll use that little pin that we saw. So interesting that they gave you the pin as well. That's pretty cool. So you can monitor the feed. You've got an out there, so one of those cables. Relevant one will be the Fujifilm one, so that'll go into my T4 or T3 depending which I use, or the S10 maybe. Transmitter feels the same. Of course, it's got a microphone built in, and as you can see there, a port for an external, which we've got here. USB on the side, reset on the side, pair, mute, on, off. Quite simple. Let's see if there's any power in this one actually. There we go. On really quick. Screen seems quite tidy. I can see it monitoring me there, although I'm not pointing it at my mouth at the moment. I guess once it's connected, that'll change. Mic, link, battery levels. Yeah, pretty cool. Now I want to look at something on this lav mic. Now I don't know the quality of this lav mic yet, although we're going to be using it in this video quite a bit, but it seems to be fine. But there's this little bit that they've included. Can you see that there? Just a little touch. So if we get this, you'll notice there's a little notch there. So once we plug this in, that piece of plastic goes into the notch, which will help avoid pulling it out when you don't want to and having problems. That's a nice little touch. Attention to detail, that's what I like to see. Quite happy with that actually. And if this mic is any good, I might be using it this way. But as we know from other systems, using these units alone is very welcome. Let me just take a look at this while we're here. The dead cat comes alive once you take it out of the bag. Let's see how that fits on there. So I'll line it up, pop it on. That's all right actually. Not too easy to lose either. Hey, decent that. It's a funny looking thing, isn't it? I mean, you could use it as a handheld mic as well. Why not? Don't need this label, but whatever. Suppose you could hide that, that's fine. Hey, cool that. Not bad, but we need to get it in the field and see how it sounds. Well, let's walk away then. Let's see how this goes. We've got the wind muff on. There might be a bit of rustling from the jacket in the bag. I've tried to avoid it, but there we go. Let's walk on further. Now, it might be that when we turn away from the camera, line of sight is lost and therefore the whole signal disappears, but this test will see just how bad that is. Now, we're going to keep walking up to here, and I'll put down a marker to say how far I've got. How does it sound? There's a lot of background noise going on. We've got the wind muff on, as I think I said. I need some coffee. This is just a little test. Let's see if it can get us to 30 meters. There's definitely a lot of traffic noise out in the distance. Very hard to avoid in the second city of Birmingham. Very difficult. Not a pretty picture, but what we're testing is if the signal is clear, clean and usable. Not that I'm ever going to be doing it at this range. The range is obviously less than other systems, but I mean, look how far I am. It's ridiculous. Let's walk back now and see if through the means of general waffle we can give this a little test through. It's always good to listen back through a good pair of headphones, of course. And yeah, now I'm expecting the signal to be nice, clean and decent. I've actually got the mic attached nice and close and it's not touching anything. You might get the little squeaks and whatever from the bag strap and stuff like that, but that's fine. Just how clear is my voice compared to the background noise? Is it usable? And probably the picture is not great now, but we're not testing the picture. So as we saw, it goes way past the 30 meters stated range, but something more useful for me is that it runs on a 2.4 gigahertz digital network. So that saves me the hassle of dealing with restrictions in the UK with UHF systems, and it seems to be a lot more stable. Now, of course, I'm using it in a very windy situation, but there's not a lot of interference around, as this is effectively a big car park or art space. So you might want to be careful if you're trying to use the system in a busy environment such as a convention center or an exhibition center, something like that. Stuff that's not happening at the moment, maybe for another 6 months where we are. It is definitely a bit windy for this. Of course, we've got the lav mic here with its little wind muff on, but probably won't get rid of all the wind. Anyway, what we're testing now is the latency. It's supposed to be 20 milliseconds. What do you reckon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It really is too windy. Even the camera's starting to shake. Yeah. What I wanted to mention before we almost got blown away was that this thing pairs automatically, syncs automatically, and it's very easy to get going. I mean, I've just switched over mics, in fact, with no bother at all. Very handy, very useful. Another big tick for the system. Back to the lav mic now. I do like that little notch in it. We'll mention that later, but that's helped me not yank it out from time to time. You can see I've been using this on different days now to give it a fairer test, and yeah, pretty good. And again, the other option with the dead cat, with the wind muff, which I've got here in my pocket, also pretty sturdy. I'd probably get rid of that label though. Also happy about the USB charging. I can just plug it in and give it a boost on the go, although 5 hours more than enough for me, although it'd probably take 5 hours to find somewhere quiet. There's no funky all-in-one charging carry case, which might be something that they could consider for the next model, but at least it's got an up-to-date USB-C interface, making charging on the go very easy. Now, most importantly, the audio is more than usable. Now, you might want to tweak it in post slightly. All I've done is limited it so that across the board it's all at a broadcast standard. No other tweaks have taken place, just limiter. So I think for most amateur interviews, YouTube stuff, it's all good. Also, it's synced up for me every single time. There were no awkward dropouts, and even when I went out of line of sight, it worked well 90% of the time I was testing it, such as you saw, and other tests that I haven't thrown in. Now, I do like the attention to detail with, for example, the dead cat fitting really nice, much better than other systems, as you can see. And also the notch on the transmitter for the lav mic gives you a bit of better stability. But I'm thinking that maybe, you know, they're a little bit plasticky and they could improve on that. It's fine for me though. I don't tend to rough these things about or use them in adverse weather. I guess they would be pro touches at a different price point. As we saw, the range is more than good enough. It is less than other brands, but again, it's not something that puts me off. I think we got to, what, 60 meters or so? More than enough. So a nice, tidy, all-round package at a very good price. Have you tried this kit? It seems that Comica have come on leaps and bounds lately, so let's see what they have next. Make sure to subscribe, take it easy, and I'll see you in the comments below.